Welcome to all. Today I am discussing chance and probability from the chapter Data Handling of Class 8. What we can call a chance is, let us take an example. Sometimes it happens that during rainy season you carry a raincoat every day and it does not rain for many days. However, by chance, one day you forget to take the raincoat and it rains heavily on that day. Look at another example where you take a chance. Sometimes it is so happen that the students prepare 4 chapter out of 5 very well for a test. But a major question is asked from the chapter that she left unprepared. You face a lot of situations such as this where you take a chance and it does not go the way you want it to. Can you give some more example for some situations where the chance of a particular thing can happen or not happen? Chance of certain things happening or not happening are not equal. Suppose a train. Chances of a train being in time or being in late may not be equal in all cases, but there are certain experiments whose results have an equal chance of occurring. Let us go for an example. What are the possible results you get when a coin is tossed? Either you will get a tail or a head. Suppose you are tossing a coin and you are asked to make a call by your friend. Can you control the result of the tossing? Suppose you want tail for yourself, and can you make it confirmed before you toss the coin? No, it is not possible. Such experiment we can call it as random experiment. So what is random experiment? A random experiment is one whose outcome cannot be predicted exactly in advance. Suppose you are asked to toss a coin several times and note the result as number of heads and number of tails to be noted. Suppose you toss 10 times, then you may get number of tails as 3, number of heads as 7. They are not, you are not getting equal number of tails or equal number of heads. Now when you toss 50 times, it comes a little closer. Number of tails may be 23, number of heads may be 27. And if you are tossing 80 times, it comes little closer. Number of tails may be 38 or number of heads may be 42. If it is 90, the chances of occurring number of tails and number of heads may be 44, 46 respectively. And if it is 100 times, chances may be 48 tails and 52 heads. It is not exactly equal, confirmed, but the number of times, if you increase the number of times that tosses, the chances of occurring the number of tails and number of heads may be equal. In this case, the outcomes we can call it as equally likely outcomes. So what is equally likely outcomes? Outcomes of an experiment are equally likely if each has the same chance of occurring. Now let us link the chances to probability. Consider the experiment of tossing a coin once. What are the possible outcomes? Yes, there are two possible outcomes, that is head or tail. Now, what is the likelihood of getting a head? Yes, there are two outcomes, only one head is there, so we can write likelihood of getting A head is 1 out of 2. Or in other words we can say the probability of getting a head is equal to 1 by 2. Now let us take a die. Now when it is rolling, what are the possible outcomes? Yes, you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. Now what is the probability of getting the outcome 2? Here you can see there are 6 outcomes in total and only one 2. So this we can write it as 1 by 6. Actually what 1 represents here? Yes, it is number of outcomes giving 2. Here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, only 1, 2 is there. So that is the number 1 here. Then what about 6? Yes, it is number of equally likely outcomes. These are all the total outcomes here. If it is so, what is the probability of getting the outcome 5? Yes, that also 1 by 6. What is the probability of getting 6? Yes, that also 1 by 6. Here, each outcome of an experiment or a collection of outcomes make an event. That we can call it as an event. Then, how can we find out the probability? The probability of an event is number of outcomes that make an event divided by total number of outcomes of the experiment. Here is a question. When a die is thrown, list the outcomes of an event of getting a prime number. You know the outcomes when a die is thrown are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now what are the outcomes that an event of getting a prime number? Among these you have to find out the prime numbers. What are they? Yes, 1 is 2, 3 is also a prime number and 5 is also a prime number. So the prime numbers are 2, 3 and 5. Now can you say what is the probability of getting a prime number? Here the number of outcomes that makes the event is 1, 2 and 3. The total outcomes we can call it is 6. So that we can write it as 3 by 6 which is equal to 1 by 2. Can you list the outcomes of an event of getting not a prime number? Yes, they are 1, 4, 6. And its probability also you can write it as 3 by 6 which is equal to 1 by 2. Here you have a question. If you have a spinning wheel with the 3 green sectors, 1 blue sector and 1 red sector, what is the probability of getting a green sector? Here the total sectors you can say 3 in green, 1 blue and 1 red. So 3 plus 1 plus 1. There are total 5 equally likely outcomes. So probability of getting a green sector is total 3 greens are there. So 3 out of 5. That you can write it as 3 by 5. Then what about the probability of getting a non-blue sector? Non-blue sector means only one blue sector out of 5. So non-blue sector means 3 plus 1, 3 green and 1 red. That is 4 are there. So that you can write it as 4 by 5. Here you have exercise 5.3. Do yourself. Here is the answers. Do verify yourself. That is all for today's class. Have a nice day.